Years since 19 members of the Granite Mountain Hotshots were killed battling the Yarnell Hill Fire outside Prescott. It's the 6th deadliest American firefighter disaster in history and the deadliest wildfire ever in the state of Arizona. So how did it happen? Let's take a look back. June 28, 2013. Lightning sparked the Yarnell Hill Fire near Yarnell, Arizona. 2 days later, June 30th, it overran. The Granite Mountain Hotshots, a 20-man crew of frontline wildland firefighters, cut off from their escape route. The investigation would later find they were headed to a ranch they thought was a safe place, but they never made it. 19 firefighters died. There was only one survivor, Brendan McDonough. He'd been the lookout, high on a hill, keeping an eye on the fire. He saw the winds change, radioed his firefighting brothers to evacuate, and then ran. 3 minutes later, he was evacuated, and the fire had taken the hill. And it's been 7 years since that happened. Every year we honor the brave team who lost their lives that day. This year, due to the coronavirus, that remembrance is online with a 15-minute service that starts at 4:30 p.m. tonight. You can find a link to that on our website, 12news.com. Also today, the Yavapai County Courthouse in downtown Prescott will ring the bell 19 times, once for each hotshot beginning at 4:42.